very happy to introduce Ania Mah Gricuk, and she's from the history department, and she will talk tonight about how Chinese herbal tea challenged colonialism in Malaysia. Ania.
Tea has always been the life of the party. After all, the protesters who staged the Boston Tea Party gave a one-finger salute to British colonizers. And that led to the creation of the world's first republic, in which we live in right now. But what if I told you that in the sweltering jungles of Malaysia, Chinese migrant workers drank cooling herbal tea, and that also pissed off the British colonizers? You see, one of the ways that the British maintained control over Malaysia was through healthcare. They believed that only Western medicine could address the healthcare needs of Chinese workers and local populations. But the Chinese workers believed otherwise. They upheld the importance of their own remedies, such as cooling herbal tea, and that challenged the belief that only a white, Oxford-educated man could be a doctor. In other words, it challenged colonialism. I researched the history of cooling herbal tea among Chinese immigrant communities. I see it as a story that defies binaries between Chinese and foreign, immigrant and local, Western medicine and Chinese medicine. In my research, I ask, what role did cooling herbal tea play in allowing these migrant workers to be themselves, despite living under colonial rule? Last summer, I traveled to Malaysia to investigate this question. I initially set out to spend all my time in the archives, going through stacks of colonial records. And then I learned that the Chinese workers who journeyed from China to Malaysia brought the practice of drinking cooling herbal tea with them. And as they began to adapt to local customs, marry local women, and use local ingredients, the tea took on a life of its own. It was then that I realized that to get the real tea, I had to venture beyond the archive. I conducted an oral history interview with a Chinese auntie famous for her herbal remedies, perused countless stalls on the streets of Kuala Lumpur, and drank 1 million herbal teas that became a lifesaver in 100-degree heat. And I realized that the complexity of being Chinese in Malaysia is still alive today. So what can this research tell us about the world we live in now? For starters, things such as the cooling tea don't exist in discrete categories. The tea is not simply just Chinese or just Malaysian, just like the California roll is a type of Japanese sushi named after an American state that was allegedly invented in Canada. But more importantly, it shows us the creativity and the resilience of immigrants and their ability to challenge colonialism throughout history, and they continue to do so today. And if Western medicine isn't always your cup of tea, then I encourage you to try some Chinese cooling tea. Thank you.